Yo, 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 what up? It's your boy Tyler Golem here with another video, and today we're going to do a chancy pick. But first, you might have seen the title of this video. I'm going to call it something like, I don't care anymore, whatever, something like that. Oh, nice, we got the second Cinder Race. That's like kind of what I wanted, honestly. But yeah, I feel like, honestly, I am so tired of Wonder Picks. I'm so tired of FOMO. If you don't know what FOMO is, it means fear of missing out. It's what gaming companies do to try to hook you and try to get you to spend more money to get you to play more of their game. And it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's negative. It's like emotional extortion, but it's something like that. It's actually very, very unhealthy, and it leads to a gaming addiction in a lot of people, and it's something that I'm not really too fond of. So I have been trying to fight FOMO. I think that a lot of the problems in today's gaming community, the reason why people spend so much money on Magic, the reason why people have an unhealthy gaming behavior with the card games that they play, and part of the reason why there's so many scalpers is because I think that there is a huge problem with FOMO. I think FOMO is mostly to blame for all of the issues that are going on. That's not to say that, people shouldn't be advertising their games. People shouldn't be trying to find ways to hook people to play their games. But Wonder Picks is one of those things where I think it's egregious because you can spend all the money you want on this game. And I have. I've spent all the money I've wanted on this game. And Wonder Picks are still something that you can never fully get deterministically. You have to you could check in your phone all the time. You could check in every single time to get the cards, to open packs and whatever. You can spend all the Pokegol you want to get the cards from packs, but you still might not get the Wonder Picks. And I think Wonder Picks, you can trade in a ticket here and there to get the cards you want, but at the end of the day, I stopped caring. I think I'm gonna still play the game. I'm still gonna try to get the Wonder Picks, obviously. But if I lose out on a card here and there, or whatever, I am not gonna lose sleep over it. I'm not gonna be upset over myself for forgetting to get a Wonder Pick or forgetting to log in once a day or whatever, because at the end of the day, I'm just here to have fun. Everybody else who's watching this video is here to have fun. And we're trying to find ways to engage with the game. We're trying to find interesting things to do with the game. It's still something that I'm working on. I know people have been talking about different ideas for how I'm going to run this YouTube channel now that I'm not spending money like crazy. And that's something that I'm still trying to get a handle of. I'm still trying to figure out what the best way is to utilize this channel, because at the end of the day, most people are watching this channel to see me play Pokemon TCG Pocket. A lot of people enjoyed watching me open packs, but I think a lot of people from my just from my research and from the metrics, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to be transparent with you. I've looked at the metrics. I've looked at all the data for my channel, and it seems like there is not too much of, it's not a big deal if I don't open packs. Like people are still watching my videos. People are still engaging. They're commenting, regardless of whether I open up packs or not. In fact, if you look at the videos where I open packs and the videos where I don't open packs, you'll see that there's not much of a differential, not a statistically significant difference between me uploading a video, opening packs, and a video where I am playing the game or doing something else. So I don't know what that means if for you, the consumer, for you, the viewer who's watching my video, if you really prefer me opening up packs. I'm sure there are other ways to engage with the game and do something like that without requiring me to spend hundreds of dollars every day. Because at the end of the day, I mentioned before that this is more of a the opening packs was more of a charitable thing for the audience. And now that I have a kid, and now that I'm kind of trying to think about my kid's future, let's be clear about something. I don't care too much about my future, right? If I didn't have a kid, if I wasn't married, I would spend money all I wanted on things. I wouldn't care too much about investments if I was gonna, live the rest of my life single and live alone for the rest of my life. I wouldn't care about what I spend my money on, and that's blatantly clear, right? I would spend money on Magic cards, Pokemon. I'd buy Black Lotuses. I'd buy first edition Charizards. I'd be doing all of that stuff, and I would have I would not feel bad about it one bit. But now I'm married. I have a kid. I have a house. I have bills to pay, right? And I want what's best for my daughter's future. I think that not spending money on my own pleasure is a sacrifice I'll have to make. And also, the thing is, it doesn't really matter to me either way, right? Like I said before, money is not something that I cared too much about when I was a kid, when I was growing up, and even when I was a young adult, making a lot of money. I didn't care too much about money because I was always going to be fine no matter what, right? Like I was already in a position where I was just having fun and enjoying myself. But now it's time to grow up. Now it's time to be responsible. And now it's time to not give in to FOMO, right? So we'll have more conversations about FOMO. I'll talk more about the adventure I've had with FOMO and maybe some of the stories I've had about how this game has worked for me. I'm definitely open to having more of a conversation about that because it is something that does interest a lot of people, I'm sure. And it is something that I think is going to matter a lot when people think about how they should spend their money, what they should do with their assets. Because a lot of people watching this video from the demographics are generally on the younger side. And you're going to grow up and you're going to have a lot of money, just like some of you are going to have a lot of money, just like me, right? And you're going to want to know what to do with that money. You're going to want to figure out how to spend that money. You're going to want to spend money the way I spend money. Let's be very clear about something. You're going to want to play games. You're going to want to collect. You're going to want to do all these things that I'm doing. You want to have a good time. And then you're going to start realizing, that you might want to spend some of that money on investments. You might want to spend some of that money, depending on what you want to do, depending on whether you want to have kids. You want to be responsible for your kid. I have talked about this with someone else. When I got through training and I started making a lot of money, a lot of people were in my position where they spent the first 2 years with the salary, with a high paying salary, just splurging, spending money like crazy and having fun with it. And that's okay. I think that's okay, but it's not an excuse to not save, right? Because depending on what you want to do, it's okay to spend money and have fun. But I also think what's just as important as that is realizing that, you can spend all the money you want. But I'll just tell you one little story. Shaquille O'Neal, I believe it was Shaquille O'Neal, the famous basketball player, right? So he got into the NBA, he started making millions, and then he blew, I think the story that I was told, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to say anything bad about the NBA or him or anything like that. He's like one of my favorite basketball players. But I believe he spent a lot of money, and he learned his lesson, and then he got a PhD and became super responsible. And that honestly is huge, right? That says a lot about character development, about growth. And I think that was the kind of thing that really, to me, I thought about that. When I think about spending money and deciding to save money and being responsible for my daughter and my family, I think about Shaquille O'Neal. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I look up to Shaquille O'Neal as someone who, got rich and spent a lot of money on things, and then suddenly opened his eyes and realized he needed to be responsible with the money he makes. There's something called manageable growth, right? And that is something that I think we can have a conversation about. I think that would be something that people would be interested in hearing about in this channel, about how people who play Pokemon, who collect, might have, if you have money to collect Pokemon, you have money to do things with investments, right? And the question is whether or not you should invest in Pokemon or whether you should invest in another card game, or whether you should be putting that money in stocks. There's a lot of channels like that already that talk about this stuff. But a lot of those channels, honestly, like they want you to buy their products. They want you to buy their investments. And I have no reason to do that. I'm not selling a product to anyone. All I'm doing is making videos because I enjoy making videos. So hopefully that clears up some things. Hopefully that makes sense. I think people would probably enjoy watching these types of videos. But let me know in the comments what you think. I'm going to let this game finish while I talk, and we're going to, have a little more gameplay commentary, because this is a pretty interesting game. I don't know if I'm going to be able to win. This is kind of tricky here, right? Because once Mega Metachem is out there, you can't really do anything, right? I mean, am I just screwed? I don't think you should use Cyrus. Oh, yeah, we're just done. We're done here. Because they're going to KO the Giratina, and then that's going to be it. All right, well, we tried. I hope you enjoyed this video, folks. Leave a like and comment down below. We're doing a full art Professor's Research giveaway on March 6th, so stay tuned for that. Join the Discord. I'll put a link in the description. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.